Hi everyone, Chris Hale here with another Profit Squirrel vlog. How are you all doing? I hope you're all doing fantastically well. Today, what I wanted to talk about was match betting full time. Is it possible? Do people do it? What do you need to know about it if you're considering going full time with match betting? Now, one of our more active members, a guy called Mad Max in the forum, posted about this the other week, and it got me thinking that, hey, that's a good topic to discuss because if he's thinking about it, I know other people probably are as well. There's a lot of different thoughts on this area, and so this is the thread to discuss that on. Go ahead, check it out. I'll drop a link to it below, and you will need to be signed into your Profit Squirrel account in order to access that forum thread. But I think there's going to be a lot of good discussion and information on there about match betting full time. He makes some really good points in that post, and what I wanted to do was go through each point and just think about it out loud with you guys here on this video. So the first thing that he says is, do you have enough bank? So what do we mean by full time? I think basically the definition could be enough to replace whatever income you get at a job. And obviously that's going to be different for every single person, but I think the amount that people are sort of estimating, what they're sort of thinking they would go full time with match betting for, is probably around 1,700 to 2,000 a month. And bear in mind that the stuff you're getting from match betting is tax free. So that amount, you're not going to get PAYE or national insurance taken off that like you would with your pay slip. You're actually going to get that amount in, and that is your amount sort of for the month, as it were. So in order to make that sort of profit, 1,700 to 2,000, you really need to be completing a lot of offers. And to do that, the first thing you'll need is a sizable bank. Now, as you probably all know, the bank is the amount of money that you use to float the offers in the exchange. Now, if you want to be maximizing your profits, and I've done a video on maximizing profits before, which I'll drop a link to again below this video, you want to be doing stuff with higher odds and you want to be doing more offers. But the thing is, with doing more offers, it means that you have more of your liability tied up in the exchange at once. And it means also that it may be tied up for a longer period of time. And additionally, doing stuff with higher odds, 4.0, 5.0 events, you're actually going to find that the liability will be higher. So I would say do not even think about going full time on this unless you have at least probably £1,500 to £2,000 in your bank. Now, this is something that some people have some savings, and when they know match betting works, they actually go ahead and they put that into their exchange account and they sort of crack on from there. But it's also something you can build up over time. And I'd almost recommend that second route, because by building it up with your profit from the offers, what that means is as well that you're actually really going to be understanding all the different types of offers, and you should be confident completing many different styles of offers in order to make profit from them. And that would be the second thing I would say to consider, is make sure that you generally have a really good grasp of all the different types of offers that are out there for match betting, and that you're quite disciplined with actually working through those and understanding where your profit is likely to come from month to month. The second point that Mad Max makes here is, are you prepared to turn your back on your guaranteed pay packet? And I would say this is a really good point, and it's actually more of a psychological one, because say you've got everything worked out and you're like, yep, I'm confident that I can make a certain amount from match betting. I've got a decent bank. I really understand it. I've done a lot of offers and things. That's cool, and that's a great place to start, but I can tell you from my own experience that it's a massive shift in mindset for most people to go from doing their job and getting a guaranteed amount in every month, planning for that amount, to actually having a varying amount coming in each month. Now, you may always be able to hit your minimum amount, say 1,700 a month, which is really cool. But some months, you may be 50, £100 under that. Some you may be over it. So you have to be comfortable with that variability. And you have to, I would say, ask yourself if that is something you would enjoy doing. Would you enjoy that added responsibility? Because let's be honest, when you have a job, sometimes sometimes you're having a bit of a tired day or a bit of an off day, and you don't actually do that much when you're at work. You know, I think we've all been there, and there's really not a huge amount of consequence to that as long as you do enough to not get fired. And again, I'm not saying everybody does this, but on some days, you know, you might be a bit tired and you do just enough to not get fired, to not get in trouble. And that's cool. You can kind of get away with that for a certain amount of time and you will get your pay packet. But the thing is, when you are kind of working for yourself, when you're actually doing match betting as a job, sure, you can be tired, but if you don't do the work, you're not going to get paid. So that is something to really consider. Do you want it badly enough in order to give up that guaranteed pay packet? Of course, there are tons of benefits to working for yourself. For example, choosing your own schedule and actually probably having more time when you want the time to actually do stuff that you enjoy. You want to go and do something in the middle of the day, sure, go ahead and do it. But you've just got to understand that there is going to be a difference there. The third thing, and this is a biggie with match betting, is are your betting accounts in good shape and are you confident in keeping them in good shape? And what I'm referring to here is gubbing, you know, stake restrictions, something where you may not get free bets from a certain bookmaker, or you may get your stake limited, the amount that you can actually bet limited. And this is something that can happen kind of randomly on accounts, but also it can happen due to the behavior on the accounts. So you want to be comfortable with mug betting. You want to understand that you're not always going to want to be maximizing out all of the offers that the bookmaker is offering. Things like that. Make sure that your good accounts are in good condition, and if possible that you're at a net loss with the bookmaker and that you're mostly winning on the exchanges. Things like that will keep the bookmaker happy and keep offers coming your way. Additionally, I would make sure that you have access to different accounts within your household if you need to. So what we talk about is partner-friendly bookmakers. Neither myself or Profit Squirrel endorse multi-accounting. It is not a legal thing to do. But one thing you can do is you can have accounts within your household. So you can have a partner who may be doing match betting as well. And between the two of you, you get a really nice overall household income. Of course, you've heard me mention it before. Check out the link below to partner-friendly bookmakers. The next thing I would say to consider is the social side of match betting. Now, you may be working unsociable hours if you're doing match betting full time, because a lot of the great offers come at the weekend. A lot of the big horse racing events are at the weekend. And also midweek, you're probably going to have football matches in the evening, 7 p.m, 8 p.m. So if there is a big football game on, are you happy to actually be match betting during that and maybe not out with your friends watching it, or maybe just doing something a little bit different than you otherwise would be doing? And additionally, are you happy to be working on the weekends to actually make the most of all of the offers that are there? Sure, you can take Monday and Tuesday off, having worked on the weekend, but other people in your life may have different schedules. And that is a legitimate factor, you know. The social aspect is a huge part of our lives, and you may not want to be missing things on the weekend if you're having to match bet. Of course, people do work it out around their lives. Maybe they get everything done in the morning, they get up a bit early, and then they have the afternoon to enjoy stuff. But this might not always be possible if you want to make the most of all of the offers. And the other aspect of that is that, of course, you have the Profit Squirrel forum, which is a great place to be, a really nice social place. But if you're doing match betting for yourself, then you're going to be spending a lot of time on your computer and a lot of time at home probably, or of course you can go to a coffee shop or something like that. And as someone who has worked for themselves for the last 6 years, I can tell you that this can be a lonely experience, you know. You don't always have an office to go into to actually talk to people, to actually have that social work experience. And it's something just to bear in mind and try out, see if you like it. But it can be a factor as well. You can feel a little bit isolated there. You know, for myself personally, of course, we do have the Profit Squirrel office and we have our small team here in London, but I'm not in there every day, particularly when I'm recording these videos, because I need to use my iMac at home and it's just too loud over in the office environment. So I'm actually here for a few days a week, And it's, pretty good because I have a lot of other time with the team outside of this. But during the days when I'm at home, you can end up not really talking to anyone for most of the day until the evening time. And that's just something to bear in mind, because it's very different to getting to a sociable office at 9 a.m., having people to chat to throughout the day as you work. It works for me, but it's something that doesn't work for everybody. And I totally understand that. So that is just something just to bear in mind. Would it be a good fit for your personality? And the final point that Mad Max makes to consider is actually to do with tax and mortgages. So, I mean, if you're not paying tax on your income, you have to bear in mind things like national insurance. There's a few other practical things there, and you would probably want to voluntarily pay national insurance contributions, because if you don't do that, then you may not be eligible for some state benefits. I think things like state pension or other things like that. It's something just to check out, because you want to make sure that you're contributing to that if you're going to want to be using those services. And as well, mortgages. Are you going to be applying for a mortgage? Are you going to be paying an ongoing mortgage or something like that? If you're actually applying for a mortgage, it can be a little bit tricky sometimes, especially if you're self-employed, but also if you're doing something like match betting, that the banks may not really understand what it is. I can't tell you how many times we've had conversations with people for Profit Squirrel, trying to explain what it is, trying to get certain things approved for Profit Squirrel, bank accounts and payment processing, things like that, and had to try and explain that match betting isn't gambling, that we don't need a gambling license, and so on and so forth. People just don't really understand it always, and so that is something to bear in mind. You may have a more challenging time of getting a mortgage if you can say, yeah, I've got this income coming in every single month, and that's because you're match betting full time. But when you look at it, the income is coming from bookmakers and things. Sometimes people at the bank, they're not going to understand that. They're going to think you're a professional gambler or, something like that. People don't always understand it. So that's just something to bear in mind, is that it can make conversations more confusing. Of course, I've just touched on a few things here, and I don't mean to be really negative. Match betting can be a great thing to do full time. When I left university, I was basically match betting myself full time. I was doing a little bit of affiliate marketing as well on the side, but I was doing a lot of match betting, and it gave me a lot of time to actually invest in myself and my own products and things like that. So it can be a great way to go. You just want to be aware of what the reality of it is going to be like, if possible, before you jump into it fully. If you're thinking of doing it, what I would suggest is try and have a little bit of an overlap, Make sure that you're actually getting great results from match betting whilst you're at your current job. And there's actually no need just to say, yep, I'm quitting, now I'm going full time. Always have a little bit of an overlap. I would say that's the least risky way in order to do it. Of course, you do not have to go full time with match betting. Plenty of people do it alongside their normal job, and they make really, really good money. As I've said before, with things like the weekly free bet clubs, the casino offers, doing stuff with positive expected value, all of the stuff in the daily offers section, £500 a month is more than achievable, and you can do that without quitting what you're currently doing, and that is probably a better fit for most people. However, if you're keen to check it out full time, make sure you have a look at this thread, see what other people are saying, see what their experiences have been, and hopefully that informs your decision. So everyone, thanks so much as always for watching. I really appreciate you watching these videos, and I love hearing your comments. Drop me a comment below if you have any thoughts on this video. Have you considered going full time? Is it something you would ever do? Hit like on this video if it's been helpful for you, and of course make sure you subscribe to Profit Squirrel, because we're dropping new videos every single week on match betting, on making money online. If you're interested in making more money, then subscribing to Profit Squirrel on YouTube is something you have to do. Thanks again for watching, and I will speak to you all really, really soon in another video.